and welcome our guest of honor for today, Sonali. I'd like to present you.
Thank you, my God. Samir, where are you? Can you see? I'm getting the bouquet today, not the brick bats.
Check,
भाई
sir.
पीछे आ जा चेक सर
Check,
ओए
sir.
भाई चेक से मोबाइल
Check, sir.
So Pragati, we all would like to know, first of all, what is the book all about?
You have to read it.
You have to buy it. Before reading, please buy it.
So the book is a first-person narrative. There are some very dear friends here who have already read, and I'm going to toss some questions at you. Actually, Harry will. But the book is a first-person narrative of a woman who's going through a certain experience when she starts out, where she thinks it's the paranormal. She's experiencing the supernatural elements around her in her home. Shortly after the pandemic hit and the lockdown happened, she is pretty much trapped on her own in the home, having all these experiences, and she's telling you exactly what she's feeling, or at least so she thinks that's what she's feeling. So as a reader, you are following her narrative to you until midway in the book. We switch narratives and go to her sister telling you what Maya must be going through. So then you start hearing Meera tell you what our protagonist Maya is feeling. And then you start questioning if it is actually the paranormal that she's experiencing, or is there deeper underlying psychological elements that are involved and she needs help. But because it's the lockdown, how do you reach out to your loved ones when it is the most challenging time that we've all faced? I wouldn't want to tell you the climax, for that you'll have to definitely read, but that's pretty much the gist of the book. I think it's written words, it's also, and we know this, most of us here know this, that when each of us read a book, a script, or even a quote, we all take those words in differently. We all interpret it basis what we come from, like our perspective. And I think the primary objective of this book is to have that experience that you can all read it and decide for yourself what she's telling you and make your own picture about it.
It's a beautiful story what Pragati has written. It's a story of two sisters. Sonali, this is for you, since you have a sibling. You have your two sisters.
Yes.
Okay. So the depth, the connection that Pragati has shown in the book.
So I have not read the book as yet, and I'm looking forward to reading it because I've been working. She's been making me work very hard, not giving me enough time to read. But I'm really looking forward to reading it. And when she said it's a story of sisters, I was very intrigued because we are three sisters. And in the beauty of siblings, we all know who have siblings, that there's always kuch khatta, kuch meetha. So thoda sa kadwa, kabhi kabhi, aur phir meetha. This is all part of the sibling revelry, I would say. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that.
So, thank you so much. Pragati, this entire book teleports you to the other world. Okay. Just wanted to know, is this inspired from any real life, something that you experienced? Because when we read the book, as so many people said, that you don't want to keep it down. So, has it been inspired from any real life?
I think that I'll leave to the readers to decide. And I wouldn't want to actually reveal any of that right now. But I've always told stories in the form of fiction. So I think it's safe to say that it's more about crafting a story, which is fiction, and not so much about my real life.
Hi Pragati, you finally married your man. Congratulations.
So you're the first one who also give a review on her, and you have seen this transition from
Absolutely, absolutely. But I think everybody's spoken so much and so well about the book, and I think it's about time that everybody now picks up a copy and buys it and reads it for themselves. And you know, all the best, Pragati. And who told you she's sweet? Have you ever got notes from her? I think that's where the horror training comes from.
He has not yet given me work.
No, but all the best, Pragati, and I'm sure it's going to do very, 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 very well. And I'm going to get in touch with Vishal after you read it.
Thank you so much. So whoever has read this book, there's very important message that Pragati has tried to highlight. Pragati, I want you to throw some light on what exactly. Yes, we all know it's a horror, it's a thrilling, captivating book, but then there's a very important message that you want to give to this book.
I think like Bodhi said, the message is pick up a book, read it, tell me what you think. But the underlying message is let's talk. I think it's important about having conversations, and that's. I remember when Weber read the book and he called me. Sumit read the book and he called me, and the first thing that was common between the two of them was it made me want to have a conversation. And I think that if I could get this message across, I think I've done a fairly decent job. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you.
Say something about the message that he has tried to portray in this book.
Well, no. See, the book, everyone should read the book, because I can't, it's a mysterious book. It's written lots of layers into this, and this kind of thing I can't express in the language, because you go through the reading, then you will come to me. Everyone has got a different experience. Like Nimisha has got a different experience. I read it, I have got a different experience. The same story. The readers are reading, they will get a different experience. That's it.
Thank you.
Everyone should buy the book and read it.
Yes, we will indeed. Pragati, also we wanted to know, like, how did you point on a dark and shiny place?
The moon. There was a song I heard, the moon song, and there was the mention that moon is a dark and shiny place. And moon has always had a very special place in my heart. And that led me to actually, when I started writing, the title was probably the first thing I did. And then the story just came. I thought I would change the title at some point, but I guess we all know when we start with a title, it is so difficult to change it by the time we get to the end of the journey, right? So I think it comes from the moon, that there's no light there, but yet it gives everybody so much hope, and it shines in everybody's life. So that's pretty much the birthing of the title.
That's so beautiful. That's so
Read a few lines.
I have not planned on doing any reading, but
Sonali can or just
okay. Since this was very okay. So I wouldn't really do a reading, but you have to read the book for that. But what I would want to read is a little bit of my message right at the beginning, that's all. That says that people, relationships and minds can be complex, and the depths of the mind are still a mystery to most. Some supernatural experiences can originate from psychological disorders and vice versa. There is a fine line, and sometimes it can almost be impossible to differentiate between the two. However, this grey area of both being equally possible has always fascinated me. I am not a trained psychologist, and I do not claim to understand the complexity of the human mind. I simply drew from my personal interactions and experiences to gather insights that helped me tell a story that may resonate. The pandemic and the lockdown was a difficult time, and the horrors some people faced would have been challenging to describe. I felt the need to voice their experiences in my words, in a way to let the readers know that they are not alone. That even though it may seem like the end is near, there is always hope. This work of fiction might be about a supernatural experience or a mental affliction, but at its heart, there is just one truth. There is always light at the end of the tunnel.